All right.
Yes.
Yay. I know what I'm doing now. Hooray. Hi, everyone.
Hey guys.
So, thank you for joining us. We are on multiple platforms, so if you see us just glancing or like,
the newscaster thing,
right? It's just because we're like, oh, who's got questions and stuff. So, this week, of course, we have our sale with tarot and oracle decks, and we are both tarot and oracle readers.
With a buying problem.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. This is not even like I still have stuff.
I left so many decks at home, sorting through the things I wanted to show people that I knew we had in the shop, but I knew like, okay, these are decks I love that I want other people to love because I enjoy working with them.
Right.
And even on the way walking in, like the sale table is right in front. I walked by and I literally eyed decks as I walked in. Went, oh, I don't have that one. I don't have that one either. Like.
Right. And then like today, I get told, oh, hey, by the way, you need to put these decks up, and I'm like. Okay.
She does it on purpose.
I swear. Okay. So let's get
you guys would laugh. You could the computer and the phone are here. The rest of the table is covered in decks.
I might here, hold on. I'm gonna just kind of pan down. That's like a portion of that one. And then you can kind of see like TikTok.
Like all of these that are just hiding.
Yeah, that's kind of like hanging out.
We don't have a problem.
No. Don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem. But I do though.
We're gonna start a tarot and an oracle shoppingaholics anonymous
support group.
You know, and it's gonna be in the store, so that's gonna help even more with our addiction.
With our addiction problems.
Yes. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to like interact with us. But we're gonna show you some of the new decks that we've bought recently and that haven't been reviewed yet really either too. So we try to review as quickly as possible. You know, there's a lot going on. It's holiday season, so we kind of, you know, hi Mary. But yeah, feel free to comment in. I'll go ahead and have you start. Which one we wanna talk about over here?
Let's start with one of the newer tarot decks that she has gotten in. Okay. So I picked this one up on an impulse because I liked the art style on the back of the box. I enjoyed the fact that it was an art style that I could doodle. So I immediately went, oh, this is relatable because I'm not an artist by any means, but I can probably doodle something similar to this.
Right.
What I liked about this deck, though, not only was the card, but the setup of like the little informational booklet, because I like the tarot. I like
the boxes, but I'm looking at those edges. Like
the edges are glinted,
silver,
and
like
beautiful. They fit really nicely in the hand, which I like. They're in that perfect size of like rectangle that fits just nicely into the hand. But what I liked about the informational booklet was not only was it like a typical flip book, as you opened it, the whole thing opened into a mat. So what you can see here, it actually has like all the directions on it, cardinal directions that correspond with the spaces, and I love that.
But I also like the back. It has numerology, court cards, major arcana.
Yeah, she actually breaks down, and I've always loved when tarot designers play with the suit ideas. So rather than cups, coins, pentacles, she does moons, stones, feathers, and knives.
Yeah, which still you understand. You still understand.
And I love that because it shows that the person that went through all the effort of making these cards, which are super cool, really understood the material. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were looking for. And yeah, the art in them is it's accessible. It's art that you could easily understand. It's art that you could easily do. Like here is our Ace of Knives card. It's simple. It's sketchy. I love that art design. I've always been a big fan of like the sketchy design.
Ooh, that Empress card.
The Empress is so cool. She's got that like fatted cow head. I love that imagery behind that idea. She's lounging. She's relaxed. She's kind of got that motherly, beautiful idea behind her. But this is an awesome deck. The creator of this deck is Casey Zambala.
And it's called the Wanderer's
It's
Tarot.
called the Wanderer's Tarot, and it is, if you are somebody who's into like a little bit of the cottage core witchy vibe, this is the deck for you, because the imagery in it is simple, it's line drawn, and like I said, I liked it because I could relate to it.
That was a good shuffling.
I could, for my hand size, because I'd like to think I have a normal sized hand, it shuffles really nicely.
Okay.
It fits nicely. I unfortunately am not one of those people that can do the fun.
Yeah, like that. No,
I'm not capable of that.
That's not me either. But I like to know something that doesn't like stick
Yes,
either. Like
it doesn't.
You want
the cards come apart really nicely. I've also discovered that there's no wrong way to shuffle. If you're reading, all right, what's up, Yuri? But yeah, this is an awesome deck.
That's exact.
10 out of 10. Wanderer's Tarot deck is an awesome. I just recently purchased this like 2 weeks ago, and I love it. It's simple, it's beautiful, it's well designed. The fact that the inner booklet unfolds into an actual like cardinal direction kind of.
I'm sorry, I can't read comments about
My deck. Yuri's being funny.
I see that.
But yeah, so this is a great deck.
Oh dear Lord.
10 out of 10 would recommend purchasing this deck as far as simplistic imagery, but imagery that also harks back to.
That's kind of cool. You can put users in timeout.
Oh yeah.
They got blocked.
Nice.
I'm not dealing with it today.
I ain't got time for this shit.
No one's got. Hi, TikTok. We're
TikTok?
on here talking about tarot and oracle decks that we have in the
Yes.
store. If you don't know us, that's Alex and I'm Lori, or she's Alexa. So
Because nobody stopped Dawn.
I know that's all Don's fault. If he's watching, it's your fault, sir.
Imagine Dawn on TikTok.
That would be hilarious. But if you have questions, feel free to chime in. But we're talking about some of the new decks that we got in the shop.
This was one of the ones I just purchased recently, the Wanderer's Tarot. The imagery harkens back to a lot of the same core concepts and images within the basic like Rider-Waite and like Toth deck, and that's what I liked about it, because she condensed it down into simplicity.
And it kind of almost has a little bit of Lenormand, like a little bit, like kind of
a
feel
little bit
to
of a
it.
vibe behind it.
Yeah,
because the images are so singular and stark that you're meant to just focus in on that one thing.
Yeah,
you don't have to think about all the other bajillion things.
Yeah, and you're I was just gonna say, and you're very like keen, like tarot, like me. I'm more of an intuitive reader, so like. It's like images and stuff pop out to me in the cards, where I feel like you know. I mean, not that I don't know about XYZ with the cards, but I'm just saying, as in like, you'd be like, okay, we pulled the ace,
Right.
Whatever.
So yeah, because I've taught tarot classes before with people, I
It's just, you know,
Hey, we're back.
we are back. Sorry.
I fixed the internet.
Apparently we had something go down. Like that one I love is Justice. So just in the movie, they're called the helping hands. And they turn into faces, like you can see them in the movie. And she falls down this hole, and they literally, like, she's like get off me, like when she's going down this hole, and they're like, we're helping hands, and she's all creeped out, like, what are these helping hands things? They're like, would you like to go up or down? And she chose down, and so they're like, she chose down, and then they drop her, and she falls into a hole. Another one of my favorite is the Temperance. Temperance is door knockers. Now there's normally two doors. These are my favorite characters in the movie. Temperance, sorry, door knockers. So
that's clever.
If you look at the actual characters themselves,
thanks.
Sorry, I'm showing Alex as I'm trying to show you guys too. Okay.
I can look later. It's fine.
Yes.
I get it.
Okay. So the one door knocker has the ring in their ears, and the other one has the ring in their mouth. So the one door knocker is like, huh? What are you saying? I can't hear you. And then the other door knocker is trying to talk, and it's like, and she has to pick a door to go through this labyrinth. So literally this whole deck, like the major arcana, is all about choices, which if we talk about tarot in general, or about when you want to get a reading, there's some type of choice.
Correct.
We need to make. So it follows the whole movie.
That's
she
awesome.
has a bunch of different choices and all the different characters she comes across, and I absolutely love it.
That's clever as hell.
Yeah. So, like I said, intermediate,
Karen.
And these are semi-easy. I mean,
you're such an aggressive.
I am such an aggressive shuffler.
Gosh.
And then whatever falls out usually needs to be red.
Throwing the hanged man at me here.
That's Ludo. He's my fave.
This is a very nice deck. It's very pretty.
It is.
They did shame on Alexa. I've never actually sat through the whole movie.
I'm sorry.
What you brought? We're not supposed to tell anybody.
Shh. Hi, Karen.
I also have
Hi,
a
Kevin.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, goodness.
I have a lot of movies I have not sat through.
Apparently we have. Okay, so speaking of like movies, we're going to be watching movies, and we are going to be talking about them,
critiquing the witchy
magical
Hague occulty movies out there, talking about what's right, what's wrong, what they got accurately, what they completely made up with Hollywood.
Yeah, so please keep a lookout for that. We have there's technically the store has a podcast. I don't know if you guys knew this.
Yeah.
Box wine and witchcraft. So we usually talk about wine. First and foremost, what
as
wine,
we do,
and then
priorities.
Then we go into any witchy stuff.
All right. So the next deck that I bought that I felt drawn to was the Conjure Cards deck. This was a deck I saw sitting there, and I'll go by blush on the box first, but as soon as I picked it over, and the first line read, "For centuries, people living in Appalachia." My hillbilly ass is from Southern Ohio. I grew up across the river from West Virginia. All of my family's from West Virginia, so the little hillbilly Appalachian in me went, "Oh, my people, I have to own this deck now." So I purchased it, of course, as you do.
Yeah. Were we disappointed, or were we happy?
I was happily pleased with this deck because Jake Richards did an awesome job researching and dividing this deck. So the one unique thing about this deck, it's actually just a suit of cards. Like, it is actually, you could use it as playing cards if you felt so desperately inclined to do that. But then he incorporated somewhere between Oracle and Lenormand kind of imagery behind them.
Yes, he did actually. Oh, wow.
And it's beautiful. Like, our lovely Queen of Spades here is a double Black Widow here. It's beautiful. It's an awesome deck. The one thing I loved, I giggled like a mad woman when I saw this one. For his Joker cards.
Oh, shut your face. I saw the cat one.
The cat one. He does the black dog in the cemetery.
So that is Lenormand, like, base.
Yeah.
Isn't that like one of
Karen says the audio's not matching the video, like washing cuts.
Cool.
I appreciate
Well,
the reference.
we're sorry about that. We're having technical
Internet connection
difficulties.
sucks. But as an Appalachian myself, as a hillbilly, as somebody who is very proud of my heritage, my ancestry of being a West Virginia hillbilly, having a deck of cards that picks off of like my 3 of hearts here, it has a banjo and whiskey, and if we think about our 3 of hearts being our 3 of cups and the idea of togetherness and unity and party, that's what a hoedown, that's what a party was. It was everybody sitting on the porch, somebody's picking a guitar or a banjo, and you're passing the bottle around as you talk about your day. So the broke hillbilly in me went, this sings to my blood, this is my people. I also got this deck because I've also been very much into Old Gods of Appalachia podcast, which is another Appalachian-centered podcast. So if you are somebody who enjoys the cultural heritage that can come from folk wisdom, that can come from mountain wisdom, this is the deck for you. And as far as art goes, it's pretty accessible art. I mean, it's between ink drawing and kind of colored pencil art, which I did enjoy a little bit. Again, it's art that I could easily access. I always enjoy decks that have art that I could ostensibly do if I was that artistic, because it's more relatable. I can understand the effort they went through. I can understand the issue. The family Facebook.
Oh, that means Kevin.
But yeah, so these are the conjure cards. These are not necessarily tarot. These are more Oracle-based, Lenormand-based. I would happily use these because I've got friends down home that we would still play cards. I would happily use this as an actual playing deck of cards. I think that would be an awesome way to get some good love and juju on these cards, is having a kitchen table party and just actually playing a hand of cards with these. So these are awesome as far as a cultural fun pool for like an oddity that's not necessarily widespread to everyone, but if you have a niche somewhere in the Appalachian Valley, this is a deck you should own, because this is, again, the little hillbilly in me went, oh, my people represented, thank you. So that was my indulgent buy recently.
That's hilarious.
Was to feed my little family lineage in the Appalachian Valley with a deck of cards that represents the folklore.
Right.
And I love that.
So something that we got in that is, I haven't opened it, so please mind me, but I'm just going to compare it to the other one that I feel like people might construe that this is the same deck, but it's not. Okay, so we have the regular Moonology Oracle cards, okay, which are gorgeous. They follow the moon. They also follow, the astrology signs. Now we just got the Moonology Manifestation Oracle cards. So if I was looking at this back correctly, kind of keep that way. There we go. That this one has more like manifestations that we can utilize and say, who is my
favorite oracle? I have it.
We have 2 cameras. We literally have one.
We got TikTok and we got this.
We got this one. So TikTok doesn't connect with this. So we have Facebook and YouTube on here in one, and then we have TikTok on the other.
But that's a great question, Kevin. We're going to circle back to that.
Yeah, we will circle back to that
question.
Okay. So this one though has manifestations that we can say every day. So you can pull a card of the day.
Oh.
And it will be something that you can manifest that day.
Oh, I love almost like affirmations.
Yeah, literally. One of them on here, if I'm writing, is reveal what needs to be seen. Reveal what needs to be seen.
Oh, I like that.
So
I'm into that.
You know what I mean?
Open up the Moonology. I've never actually seen these cards
So
before.
These ones are gorgeous, and I love these because I'm all about the moon and I'm all about moon magic. Full moon tomorrow, Taurus.
Are you a witch?
I don't know. Am I?
I didn't know. Okay, I should leave. As she wears a moon necklace.
I know. Actually, let's see if I can find the full moon in Taurus. Oh, well, no, that's new moon.
No, we were close.
Close.
These are gorgeous. Holy
yeah,
crap.
they literally have all different ones. I'm sorry, literally. I love that they have like every new moon is always like something about.
So do they actually follow the moons on like an actual calendar of like new moon in Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio, and all that jazz?
So that's full moon in Scorpio. It's time to release negativity. But we just had the new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears, which we just literally just had. So now we're going to be full moon in Taurus, which we'll talk
This is
about
nice. The imagery in this is
here.
beautiful.
Yeah, full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. Okay. So these two, if we talk about astrology in general, these two signs, the Scorpio and Taurus, are opposite.
Mm-hmm. We sit counter across from
we
from
sit,
them on the
yeah,
table.
exactly. So we are gonna anybody that is a Scorpio is actually going to be affected by the Taurus full moon and lunar eclipse tomorrow. So we just finished with the new moon 14 days ago in Scorpio, which was some shadow work that we needed to get through.
All of the non-water signs suffered.
Yes, they did. Now we're gonna suffer with the full moon.
Damn it, we have to be practical.
I know.
Shit.
But you know what's funny is the next month also has opposite new moon and full moon.
Oh,
so
good.
I'm like, what is this shit?
This is nice. Good. Somebody else can
Sagittarius shit. It's Sagittarius and Gemini, right?
Ooh,
Or yeah, Sag and Gemini.
that's rough.
They're across from each other, right?
I think.
Should
have a map in front of me. This is why I keep a grimoire.
No. But we move. So Taurus goes into Gemini, and then from Scorpio to Sagittarius. So yeah, it has to. If I'm thinking correctly. Yes. Okay.
Scorpio goes into Sag and then Sagittarius.
Yeah. So and then we got I think a solar eclipse in that month. So lunar eclipse in this one, solar in that one. So got all this freaking crazy energy.
I like these. So is the point of this deck, in your opinion, is it something that if you know what moon's coming up, if you know what phase of moon you're in, is that the card you go seek out? Or is it a deck that you can still pull random cards
you
out
could
to
just
get those
pull
messages?
you could still pull and get these random messages, because literally if we just think about the moon's always changing, right? The moon, think about if we go into astrology in the sense of our natal charts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, depending on when we were born, where our moon lands.
Right.
Okay, so even though I was born under the Scorpio sun, my moon is in Virgo.
Nice.
So that's what I need to those are my emotions, those are the things I need to focus on throughout. Mm-hmm. That's my life planned out. So really that changes every day too. Like what is that moon
right? What's
correlating with what planet and what's going on. So it's really
it's a really pretty deck.
It just gives you straight up answers, which I like. So, you know, if I did want to pull out a card of the day, boom, I got that. But this one I feel is a little bit more, like I said, just by noticing what's going on in the imagery on the back. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. It's a lot different than.
So it's like using whatever power that moon would have to bring something to you.
Yeah.
To bring something in.
So.
Which is nice to think about.
And then we're going to sit on the side. But yeah, a lot different. And just giving this. So that's why sometimes I like the Oracle decks, because say you want to just have, instead of pulling a tarot card of the day, which is great, you can still do that.
Yeah.
But if you wanted just a word of affirmation or some words to focus on for the day, pull an Oracle and it'll exactly say that. So
let's address Kevin's question.
Okay.
So Kevin over here asked, who is your favorite Oracle card author? I actually, and it's a deck that we get in pretty frequently. We have her tarot deck right now, but I also have her
Kim.
Kim Kranz does the Wild Unknown Tarot and Oracle deck. We have the mini tarot deck. They're adorable.
Yes.
It's not opened though, which is okay.
Because we got the big
I have the big ones.
And they look exactly like the minis.
But the Wild Unknown Spirit Animal Oracle, for me, is definitely my favorite as far as Oracle cards go. Because not only is the imagery in it bright and vivid and wild, it's animal based. And I'm somebody who I can relate to animal based magic and imagery. I can relate to animal based imagery. So, for example, here's our lovely frog. Isn't he beautiful? He's adorable. And the imagery that she does within this deck, the spider is one of my other favorites because you can see kind of the rainbow background in the deck that she does. And it looks very similar to a lot of the rainbow decking she does in the tarot. So there's both. So these two decks together play so nicely together. I never was somebody who originally put Oracle and Tarot together at the same spread, but now if I've got somebody that sits down across from me and kind of has like, oh, well, you know, talk about whatever, I reach for these two decks because the imagery is so easily accessible. It is, here's our scorpion for Scorpio season, for our lovely Scorpio season. The imagery is accessible because who among us, like you, it's animals, and we all can relate to that. We've all seen these things. We've all learned about them in our entire lives. So these are aspects that you can incorporate into your own life. And she breaks them down by the 4 elements. She does, you know, earth, fire, water, air type of animals. And she talks about the benefits and the kind of withdrawal from some of them. The vulture is a very cool looking card. It's a very wicked, wild card. But I like Kim's work. I have always liked her approach to magic. I have always liked her approach to art and imagery. The Wild Unknown tarot deck as it's like by itself is awesome. I love it. Thankfully, mine came to me as a gift. I had a good friend of mine buy it because she liked the art in it and then got scared and went, okay, I can't do this. You shouldn't be scared of your tarot decks. They won't hurt you. But I love her style of images. I love her use of color. And she originally created this deck based on her own difficulties and her own struggles and her own growth. And she tried to come up with imagery you could relate to as a person. You know, our lovely 9 of Cups or 8 of Cups here rather. Like it's so simple, it's so stark, but it's applicable to that card. So I enjoy these decks. I have a lot of people I know that are like, oh, it's overrated, but like, girl does it for me. This is some killer art. It's solid. The boxes that they come in, the books that come with these are awesome. So if you are someone who does enjoy reading these books, if you're going to get this, find the book with it. This is one of the few books I've actually read all the way through.
I was going to say, no,
as far as tarot.
I know a lot of people. There is a guidebook that is in there. So this actually does come
good,
with
it comes with a little book.
It does come with a mini book.
Yes. You are in luck. That's great. But yeah.
No, don't. No, we're not playing that game.
Put him in timeout.
Yeah, I don't like
people
like that.
Kim Cran's definitely my favorite as far as Oracle decks go, as far as applicability and ease of use for tarot users. So if you're somebody who's new, kind of likes that little bit more Mod Podgy dark imagery, the Hermit's adorable.
Oh,
the Hermit's it's a little turtle
in his shell,
and he's all up in his shell and he's hiding.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah, but it's applicable. You can understand that.
So just to reiterate this little comment real quick, because I hate people like this. I'm sorry. If somebody that claims they are a reader tries to come to you on social media, that is not what we do.
No. I don't slide into your DMs and be like, let me read for you, Lori.
Yeah, we are not going to do that.
No.
We know when if it is important for you to get a reading or to seek guidance, you will come to us.
Yeah.
We know that. Spirit knows. We are not coming after you.
I'm not coming to you.
No. So please don't ever fall for that scam. I hate that stuff so much.
Yeah. Oracle deck and the Companion Tarot deck would recommend both of these. I'm happy that I own both of them, actually. Right. I would. These is honestly the few decks I would happily buy these and give these as gifts to people.
That's why I was like, that was when I saw that we had the minis. I was like, perfect.
This is the perfect gift
little gift to put in somebody's stocking
white
stuffer.
Elephant stocking stuffer.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And we should be getting more of those in actually. So because we are going to be doing tarot kits, which I'm super excited. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason to spend money.
I know. Well, next week's okay. We're already at Thanksgiving, so next week is Small Business Saturday.
Start shopping for Christmas.
So like I'm reason why we're also like promoting Small Business Saturday. We're going to be having a lot of our vendors here. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we support a lot of local vendors in the shop. So they do consignments with us.
Nice.
So they will be here in person. They will have tables with their actual
businesses supporting businesses.
So that's what we will be doing on Saturday. And then we have a gift card promo. We've got giveaways that day. Like, come out and support us. We will also have online stuff. So if you're not in the area, check out what we got online as well. So, but if you're seeing things too that are on our posts on like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, reach out to us. Like, say, hey, I saw this on a post, but I'm not seeing it on the website, because we're a small business. We try our best to get everything up quickly as possible on the website. But, there's only so many of us, and there's how many of you? So just let us know, and we can gladly put that aside for you, ship it out, whatever. And we do ship worldwide, believe it or not, we do. So moving forward, sorry, that's a little rant. Something that we got in that actually had her order this specifically for me. So I only got the one, but she can definitely get these in too for you. This is the Herbal Healing Oracle deck, which I loved because me too. Like, I was like, ooh. And the book,
I'm a sucker for good packaging.
Right? The book,
super nice.
So fun. Like, how to, there's different types of spreads that they have in the book. What they mean, like what the different, because these are herbs. Like, if you don't know anything about herbs, you might not understand some of these cards, but that's a great thing. I don't know anything about really a lot of herbs. So it was kind of like a helpful thing, because I do get people that I read for that need healing, like actual medicinal type healing, that these cards come up. I'm like, okay, so let's go see a doctor about this issue that apparently you are having and that you're trying to hide. So, just like some of the things that are correlating with that, but also learning, like I said, like what does rose do? What does St. John's wort do?
Interferes with your birth control, so don't take it if you're on birth control.
So
not very much.
Oh, okay, there you go. So certain things, but the cards are really nice and beautiful too. Like, they look like little characters. Like, that's oak. Oak is, and they are actually split into different
like categories.
Yes, there are 4 different categories. If there are root, a plant, a tree, or a flower. So I thought that was kind of cool. So it's kind of like suit range in this sense. So like this one's the oak tree, and we know oak is strong. Oak in general is a really strong ash tree. Let's see, cherry tree, renewal. Like,
I love when they do like it's not personification. It's the word that means that you're applying human traits to non-human things.
Okay.
My English teachers are rolling over right now.
That's okay.
I can't think of that damn word.
We're just having.
But that's what it is. I love when creators and artists will do that. Is that they'll add that level of, what's the dandelion?
Dandelion is manifestation, which I actually really do.
I love that
because you can
every part.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
That I do know. That one I do know.
We're good.
You can eat it. You can drink it. You can make it a tea.
It's good for your kidneys. Mm-hmm. Like, I love that it's manifestation because you can use every part of that plant, and that makes sense.
Yes, and I always used to call them wishes, because you wish. That's why the other way, like, I thought of manifestation. I was like, oh, you manifest, you wish, you make a wish, you blow on them. I call them wishes. I used to call them wishes when I was little. So
yes,
I used to blow on them and say make
fucking
wishes.
Great.
Yes, so wish.
There we go. I love it when shit like this comes together because it gives you that moment where you're like, damn it, someone thought it through. Exactly. And I appreciate when authors.
So this is the Herbal Healing deck by Sarah Baldwin. But I was like very much attracted to it, like I said, because I get a lot of times spirit sends me colors, and the colors usually mean an area on the body that somebody's having issues with. And to know the
Nice.
herbal properties, I'm like, yes, it goes together hand in hand.
Very nice. Anthropomorphism. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin's got my back.
Yeah, thank
When
you.
you anthropomorphize things, I love that because that's
Are you tapping the screen over here? Tap, 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 tap.
Just...
No, did you know if you tap the screen and make it go?
Oh, that's cute.
There's a bar.
Look at the little hearts.
So when you fill it up, you can actually make our thing go up. So, like, celebrate. Did you see that? Yeah. So you make our views go up. So in case you don't know about us, we have a TikTok, and I worked hard on
We're
that.
diversified.
We worked hard on it.
No, this chick right here.
Well, she also helped me with the video, so that's why I'm like we. So we're over 1,000.
Hell yeah!
Our next, we're actually gonna do another giveaway for 5,000.
Nice.
So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Okay, I want to talk about this deck because this is one of my newest purchased decks, and I love it. That's
kind of rude.
I don't know who that is, but that's unacceptable. You
can... I'm tapping the screen like
it's a phone. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unacceptable, Sammy. So you need to feel bad about that.
Whew. Okay.
Actually, you know what? If you're gonna be a pain in the ass, you're not gonna be a part of this.
Go ahead.
Because that's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Please comment.
Yeah, I'm all for this whole, like, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But I'm also for being actively against shit like this. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. How about that? So I don't know who Sammy is talking to. What is that beside you? It's fucking gross.
Who in the world?
Are we watching?
We are definitely getting. We're getting like.
You're getting cross-streamed? Apparently,
we are getting a lot of phony people on here at the moment. So
great.
We're gonna deal with that. That's fine.
So I want to talk about this tarot deck though. So this is the Artist Innervision tarot deck, and the reason it attracted me to it is because the box for it is extremely busy and hectic and chaotic.
I was wondering about this deck.
Yes. So I have always liked maximalism as an aesthetic, which means like minimalism is beautiful. Maximalism though is color, pattern, shape. I've also always enjoyed scrapbooking.
Oh shoot, was that in there or is that your own?
No, yeah, this is all part of it.
Oh, shut up! It came out of a bag.
It comes in a little bag, which I love. It's this whole deck reminds me of when I would go on.
Oh my god, I love this
scrapbooking sprees.
Shut up!
They're busy. They're loud.
What?
They're detailed. The entire thing is.
We don't take it personal. We just don't. We don't
tolerate that shit.
We don't tolerate it.
We don't tolerate that shit.
We're very loving.
But yeah, I love this deck. I have had, and this might be a little ageist. I have had awesome success with this deck with older people in an older demographic. For some reason, there's a lot of imagery in here that when
does well with them.
It triggers, it flows, it absolutely resonates super well. But the entire deck is like that.
Well, also you just see some of like the old artistry in there.
Yes, because it's layered. It reminds me of old scrapbooking. It reminds me of.
It's almost like I took a museum and just like put stuff together, like because that's
condensed it all into like the Emperor card has the idea of time and like those stalwart like European kind of gentlemen to them.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I think that's Vlad, the Impaler,
and I love it. It's beautiful. So I'm really glad I got this deck. This is an awesome deck if you are someone who thrives on. Lots of imagery, lots of color. If you're somebody who likes picking out, not necessarily just the card, the suit, the number. If you like the images in it, if you're somebody that needs that kind of, so like I thought of you because I know you're somebody who can use like the more images.
Yes, I am very, and I wasn't sure how that was going to look. Now that's very intriguing.
Yeah,
that's very like,
because it gives
but
you.
It's on both sides too, though. Like it's not
the other side's awesome. It's a good mess. But yeah, if you're somebody who enjoys that maximalism approach and likes like,
well, because there's just so much symbolism in there. That's the thing. Like I can literally, they are busy, but like the thing is, like Spirit's like, nope, look at this.
Yeah, and I think that's the point of this kind of deck is if you're somebody who enjoys not necessarily just reading for the suit and the number. If you like looking for that imagery, if you like the fact that certain things might jump out at you, and that's happened with these cards before. I've done readings where I'll flip over a card that I know I flipped over before, but then
there's something else.
There's something in there. And I'm like, oh shit, like, you know.
Vlad and me are cool. I'm Romanian, so me and Vlad are.
I haven't thought the Impaler meme. I'll show you later. But this is an amazing deck. It's busy. It's wild.
But I love that it came with everything. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm a sucker for bags. Like,
I want to be able to
look how cool it is. It's like Grandma made that for you. I want it.
And it's got that homemade style. The book's a little like dry, but honestly, it's one of those things that like if you're somebody who wanted to kind of get a heads up on some of the imagery in it, it would definitely be helpful. But yeah, if you're one of those creative souls that just likes looking at images and colors and noise and letters,
this is like a very artsy, like somebody that is like
every card is different,
like very very chic, and
none of the cards in the suits necessarily go together, which I like. I like the fact that they are individually their own thing. So I'm really happy I got this one because I like the maximalism.
I don't know if she has any more out there, but I kind of want this deck.
She does. I know she has at least 2.
I might be going home with me.
These
Melissa, I'm letting you know if you're watching.
Yeah, this is the Artist's Innervision Tarot, and it's an amazing deck. I'm super
even though like look at the box
is wild.
Like look how freaking cool that is. Like it's got so much imagery. And I was looking at this. I was just wondering. I'm like, what does this even look like? Like,
it's beautiful. I'm super glad. So the other thing I have learned to do, because I have the same problem of, I'll look at a box and I might kind of like, oh, the box is kind of cool. Bring your phone in and just do a quick search of the deck to see.
Yes.
Because that is what's gotten me to like, oh, the box is cool, but the cards are cooler. Okay, now I have to have it because I see what's there. I see what's behind it. And yeah, it comes.
Yes, deck addiction is real, and we are going to start a support group for that, Ben. If you want to come, you're more welcome.
You're more than welcome to.
He's one of our regulars, and I've already got him. He probably already has like 10 minutes.
It's a growing problem. But no, the Artist Innervision Tarot. I'm pleased. This has made it into my rotation of decks that I use when I come to read here.
That might be a new one on my list. So Christmas list or holiday list, whatever we'll call it. Holiday. We'll just say holiday.
Festivus.
Yes, just Festivus. That's even great. I think they are making a Seinfeld deck. I don't know. Okay, so speaking of this, I know a side note. There is a Tarot Nerds group. It's on Facebook. That's all we talk about is tarot and Oracle. We kind of do talk about Oracle, but that's how I find out when new decks are coming out. And I'm always sending Melissa like, hey, there's this new deck, the Labyrinth deck I knew about for at least a year and a half. And I'm like, you're going to get this deck for me.
BK Witch 87 says they are in that group. So.
Okay. Yes, they know that. Nice, so it's there's always stuff. Do you guys have the Santa Muerte Oracle deck? You know what? I'm not sure, Chris.
She does.
If she does or doesn't, like just shoot us a DM. Let us know because we'll give a purge.
She does have a pretty good selection of Santa Muerte paraphernalia and tools and stuff like that. I think she still has a couple of those decks sitting around here because I think she got several in for Salin.
Oh, okay.
So I think she's got a couple still.
Yeah, sorry. I wish we could tell you more, but seriously, I'm not. If I literally took this computer out there you probably see 100 Oracle
This is always a
decks.
get time.
And
This is
I'm
always
not
a
gonna
get
lie,
time.
I think I asked Alex or somebody earlier, oh, is this deck new? And they're like, no, it
It's
just
been
got
here a while.
moved.
It's been shuffled.
Yeah, it just gets moved. So that's the problem, is stuff gets shuffled and moved. And I'm like, oh, is this new? No. And I'm here every freaking day.
It's new to me.
Yeah.
All right, show me one of your new decks.
Okay, another new. Well, I don't have these open, but I'll talk about the one that I do have open. This is sort of kind of new. So the Supernatural deck came out, baby, like
It's been within the last year or so.
within
It's
the last
recent.
year, but we know like there's so many Supernatural fans, so many
God, are you
Supernatural fans. Like, come on, what
It's a
store
good
are
show.
we in? What
It's a-
store are we in?
It's a good damn show.
Jeez.
And I love Supernatural because I liked that in a lot of their episodes that they went through the effort of researching a lot of different kinds of magic and occult things to incorporate.
Well, they were very like, okay, you know how we were just talking about our podcast? Like, we're probably gonna have to talk about the show because they really did do their research when they did the show. And how many years? Like over 10 years.
Yeah.
That the show was running, and they wanted to do spin-offs, in which they are doing. They're doing a prequel actually. So like this show has men and women. Like, it's not just because it's two guys that these women fall. No, men also like this show. Classic rock. You got a little bit of everything like in there.
And
But
Michael's wonders, and of course you're gonna like it.
Mm-hmm. Or Jared Padalecki.
Anyway, moving on.
I know, right? I mean, they're all freaking tall too, freaking like 6 foot plus, and I'm like, oh, hi, I'm 5. Me and her are both tall for girls.
Yeah, I'm 5'8".
So for me, yeah, like.
Anyway,
yeah, sorry, tangent. Me and my little. So Warner Brothers definitely was behind on doing. Promoting their stuff.
And I like that there are decks that other media outlets have gotten behind to endorse, that it's not necessarily like a knockoff or like an inspired by like
no, they were like, no, we are
no,
going to like literally look.
So if you're
Warner Brothers on the bottom there,
part of the Supernatural fandom, this is definitely a deck to you, simply just because.
And you can kind of see some of the cards on there. Okay, so it does have. It's very like. There's only like a couple colors in the deck itself. So you got blue, gold, red, and like white-ish. But
and they actually use like characters.
Yeah, they do use the characters. So there's like a bunch of different characters. The card stock is like amazing. Like, thank goodness that they use. Like, I'm sorry, I'm still throwing it. Like, can you hear it? Good card stock, so it's not flimsy or anything. But like, again, like I like buying decks like this because it's relatable to me. So when I read, it's like, oh, I remember that part in the show that this scene was going on, and maybe when I'm discussing with somebody, it's relatable, and it's like, let's see, let's find. Okay, we got Castiel. Okay.
Oh, is he the magician?
No, but not well. Castiel. Sometimes they do have repetitive, but that's okay. So, which is funny that she's the Hierophant, but whatever. As death. Let's see. Okay, so we do have the other OG death. So we have the Reaper and the Death card.
These are really pretty though.
So actually, Castiel is the Hangman, which makes kind of sense actually.
Oh, okay.
So
that's not necessarily one I would have immediately gravitated towards.
I kind of do, just because he's torn. If you think about it, he's not full angel, and he's not full like. Human. He's kind of like
literally stuck in between of that.
He's a little like in that limbo of like both. Like he could because he understands Lucifer too. Like he understands like, oh yeah, Dad did F us up. Like, and
I like that because it's definitely another deck that like you having a background of having watched the show and enjoyed the content.
Yeah, you kind of
get that much
the
more
gist
out of the parts.
Of the exactly. Let's see. Page of Blades. We got, the messenger. Okay, so he's a prophet, like Kevin the prophet as a messenger.
That's clever.
Makes sense. Like that makes total sense. Like that's why I'm like this deck, like literally, like hold on. Actually, you know what's like I gotta find these. I love that the Page of Pentagrams is the ghost hunters or the ghost killers or whatever they freaking call them. Hilarious. Let's see. Can I find? I know, like these are all everywhere. Oh, that actually makes so much sense as the Tower card.
15 years, good grief.
Okay, the Fools are both Sam and Dean.
So, not to cackle like a mad woman, but I'm willing to cackle like a mad woman.
Literally, it's hilarious.
Oh my God, though.
Right.
All right. Well, at least they had fun with this, which is like the other thing I liked about the show is the show.
Dad's the emperor.
The show took this.
The magician is actually God.
Well, okay then.
That's hilarious because he does play.
That's extremely appropriate.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It makes me laugh.
Well, that's what I think I would like about this deck too is that it takes itself serious, but it doesn't take itself too serious.
Here's one. Usually, the Two of Cups in a tarot deck is a man and a woman. Usually,
right.
All right. This Two of Cups is two men, and it's the brotherly love.
Oh, I like that.
And they're cheersing with whiskey. Because that's Bobby and I forget his name all the time, but yeah. They're really good friends.
Because they could have very easily went with.
And this one makes sense too, because I love this is technically this is Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel. In the show though, they didn't know he was an angel for a long time. So he's known as the trickster. Well, this is a moon card.
Oh, I love that.
So we know he's like the one that like hides things.
Sometimes you can't see what
he's doing. He's
still there.
And then the world card. The world card is them in their car with with everything in the rear view mirror.
That's really cool.
In the rear view mirror. And then the chariot is actually the car, the Impala baby.
That's really cool.
So they did do
Someone thought this through.
They did sit there and like literally probably go through and like, okay, so what are we gonna draw and what are we gonna use? Who are we gonna use? And it was great. So if you need it, no, it's the jester is not Gabriel. It's actually the moon card. Because the moon card's all about, being hidden and
cyclically moving through things.
Yes, sneakily. And which is being trickstery, if you think about it.
What else did you want to talk about? I have so many decks.
I know we do. Oh, okay. Let's talk about these because we have a bajillion of those. So we have a lot of trump decks, and what we call trump decks, they are major arcana decks. So they're 26 cards, right? 26. Me and math right now. This one's a TikTok one actually, which is kind of funny. So we got a TikTok.
What's up, TikTok?
Major arcana deck. So as we were talking, the major arcana follows a fool's journey. This one actually opens up that I can actually show you the cards.
I do like that.
This kind of funny, like literally. Like we have all different types. There's like a Winnie the Pooh one. There's like Alice in Wonderland. There's a whole bunch out there. And
there's a Woodstock one. I've seen.
There's a Pink Floyd one. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I think I've seen one.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. There's a whole bunch. But the cool thing I liked about this one for TikTok is there's hashtags that you can literally use for like @Empress. Like,
oh, that's really cute.
Like it looks like TikTok. Hello. So it is just really cool. Like there's like all these different like.
I like how big they are too.
Yeah, they are. They
fit. It's substance in your hand.
Like I've got kind of small-ish hands. They're about that size. But yeah, they're not. So one thing me and her were talking about, like we're wondering why people aren't utilizing these more. People don't always realize that you could make your own deck. So like if you have multiple decks, you can makeshift your own deck.
Mix them together.
Mix them.
They love to play together.
Heck, sometimes even what I'll do is I will mix like 2 decks together. I will just shuffle 2 decks together.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're good. I will shuffle 2 decks together and
I've
just
done that before.
pull. I will, yeah, and it'll be a huge ass, stack, but I will totally utilize those. So these just being trump cards, you can read them by themselves
Mm-hmm.
because it just follows the fool's journey, but you can also add like whatever suits from another deck or just playing cards too. You can, because that's what they are. The regular suits are playing cards, 52.
Well, I remember when I first got my first tarot deck that I was enthralled, like it just absolutely because the first deck I owned was the Tarot of the Witches deck from the James Bond movie,
Yeah.
Live and Let Die. All of the number cards are just that suit symbol,
Mhm.
and so like the 2 of Wands is just 2 wands.
Okay.
There's no other imagery, but all. So I only got the like actual peopled imagery and a little bit more in-depth imagery when I would go look at the major arcana cards. So for me, I bonded really quickly with all the major arcana cards because I could see the story they were trying to tell. I could see the like the arc of the fool that you could kind of follow very easily. And I like the fact that some of these major arcana decks that they'd be really beneficial if you're somebody who likes to pick a card and really meditate on it or really like focus in on what does this card mean, what does it do for me. And it's just sometimes it's really nice to have a simple reading.
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to have an abridged version of, okay, what's going on, flip a card.
Right. So Kevin, just to kind of go off of what you just said, that you feel like things are coming to modernize, do you think it's becoming modernized because people are actually getting woke, or do you feel like it's getting modernized because people want to have things that they feel fits their personality? Because I'm not gonna lie, like say 20 years ago, there was not that many decks
No.
to pick from.
The
You had very basic
the
rider
artist
weight.
and creator deck industry has blossomed.
So if anything, it's actually helping a lot of artists that are
Mhm.
considered starving artists.
Mm-hmm.
You just paid for their art. You just paid for their art by buying a deck.
You supported them.
You supported them.
Who needs a TikTok deck? Kevin, I might need a TikTok deck.
Because as somebody that likes TikTok.
As a millennial and somebody who now uses TikTok with my friends, part of my friend group language has become exchanging TikToks.
Exactly.
We can relate to it.
So, and a lot of the thing too is actually TikTok has an algorithm specifically geared towards what you like.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are scrolling through TikTok and you are liking certain things, it's making a specific algorithm geared towards what you like. So if there's witchy people, that's how you're learning through witchy community. That's how these younger generations are learning.
But I think what Kevin might be trying to say is there are decks out there like the Supernatural deck, the TikTok deck, even I can't wait for someone to buy this deck. I want to own this deck. The Disney Villains deck. There are decks blooming out there that are based solely on consumable media, movies, TV shows, books, songs, apps, and stuff like that. But you guys have to appreciate the fact that as we as a species evolve and grow, and as technology and our access to information grows with us, our ability to relate to that content is going to change and shift.
Exactly.
And I think that's why decks the Disney Villain deck, all of the remakes that Disney has been going through with the live action remakes of all their movies now, we're getting a whole new generation of kids that are going, oh my God, these movies are so cool. When people your eyes are we grew up on this.
Yeah,
of course, exactly. This is relatable to us. And now we're getting to the point that we're taking harder looks at, what some of these images mean and what some of this, a little bit of the meta commentary behind it. And it becomes easier to relate to those decks as somebody who lives and thrives in this generation. I can understand a TikTok deck because I can relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other decks out there that people that are more into herbalism or more into moon cycles, that there are decks specifically catered to your taste. What
your tastes and your likes are, which is I do you not think that we evolved? These things are no longer important. Sorry, we have a question on TikTok that we're going.
Do you not think that when we evolve, these things are no longer important? I mean, Kids not going to be doing magic. They can't even survive this world unless someone's giving them a check. I mean, I understand your approach there, kind of like the idea of like it feeling fake or it feeling like it's not genuine magic. But understanding that everybody can kind of get a taste of the world, it makes magic more accessible. And I think that's good. I think it's great that we've got decks that can break people into exploring themselves and growing themselves and learning themselves because they walked by and went, oh, I like that TV show. I'm going to buy this tarot deck. Well, what's tarot? And can learn through that. But I can understand the idea of like, oh, it's pandering to the masses and it's, diluting the actual cause of, tarot or divination or magic in and of itself. But it's also gotten a lot more acceptable. I am openly out as a witch now. I couldn't do that 5 years ago. Wouldn't even think about doing that 10 years ago. That was not safe to do 10 years ago. You didn't talk about that. Mm-hmm. And we're living in a society where finally it's becoming socially acceptable to have tarot decks and not necessarily be a practitioner of any sort of like religion or magic. You can just have a tarot deck. It's like, oh, I really like supernatural, so I got the tarot deck. It's modernizing it. It's making it a more household. It's making it easier to get our fingers to it. And it's easy to access that. And I think that's what's important. That's the takeaway I take from a lot of these is that you're bridging a cultural gap finally. I think that's important.
And the other thing about these decks, just because they're not relatable to you doesn't mean they're not relatable to somebody else. So it depends on the clientele. Like me and Alex are both readers. So I do get a lot of younger people that do watch these shows, that do utilize these things. So it makes sense to them. Like that clicks with them. But if I use some other decks, they're like, well, what does that mean? Then that's great that they want to think outside the box. But if I can get them that light bulb to turn on, and that's what I want. I want that light bulb to turn on for them.
Yeah, it's about meeting people where they are. And the new generation, this is how we speak. This is how we communicate with each other. My friend groups, we communicate in memes and TikToks and Instagram posts now because that's how we do. Whereas like my parents' generation, they communicate through the same old TV shows. Like my dad can quote almost every episode of MASH and my uncle can be right there with them. But that was their cultural consumption. It's what they grew up on. So meeting people where they are and where they're at with their practice and with their messages and stuff like that. Like I think it's like
great. But and even just thinking of it in the sense of thinking of the basic Rider-Waite system in general and seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Every TV show we watch, everything we walk by, every time we interact with something or someone. Are we not incorporating tarot in some sense of way? So
yeah, it is it's a new evolution of the tarot and oracle industry for sure. That social media and other sort of consumptives have gotten into decks and oracles, but I think it helps people relate because everyone's different. Everyone's going to approach their magic and their journey a little differently. I think I'd love to do. What are our favorite decks? Well, I have several favorites.
Yeah, no problem. We agree. Honestly, that was I love that you interacted with us on that because and
you challenged us.
You did challenge us.
It wasn't just that's nice. Like,
yeah.
That's the whole point of
I literally just hit the wall. Like
you don't hear loud violent.
I know. Boom. I'm gonna make a hole in the wall.
That's the point for magic is that it's accessible to everyone, regardless of your path.
Here's just a random freaking one that we got in the store. And this makes you even think outside the box even more. The Mystic Martian Oracle.
Oh, I love it.
This goes in the freaking aliens. Come on. It's aliens, man.
I love that.
I'm like, oh, shut your face.
What?
Look what it talks about. It talks about the different types of aliens. So, do you know?
Venusians.
Yes. I'm excited. I actually might want this deck.
Oh, this is hilarious. Oh, I like that. I guarantee you there better be like an Attack from Mars card in here. I swear to God, if there's not, I'm going to be disappointed. Again, it's funny, it's humorous, but it's accessible. If you're somebody who's a Trekkie, if you're somebody who absorbs science
That's what
fiction,
it's looking like. I'm
this is your
reading,
deck.
Kevin, if I'm reading the back, it's talking about the different types of
The Andromedians and
all the different
Arcturians, Venusians.
I want this deck
oh,
now.
Damn.
Son of a biscuit.
As if we need more reasons.
Yeah,
to
see, this is
our
why
money.
we're starting a
support group
for tarot. Yeah. $21.95 for
Love
that
it.
bad boy. Yeah.
It's a hell of a Christmas.
If you don't know about like all the different types of planets that some of us could have came from, or moons, I shouldn't just say planets, moons too.
Pluto is a planet.
Did you know
I
that
will die on
there's
this hill.
80? Did you know there's 80 moons Jupiter has? 80.
Do you think Jupiter's trying to prove something?
I don't know. But seriously, 80 moons? How many?
Time for that shit.
What size are they either, too? I mean, I swear, they probably are the same size as the Earth.
They have to be. So going back to other...
It's $21.95. Yes, the Syrians. See?
Yes.
That's
You get it.
This is probably in this deck. I'm telling you. I'm excited.
One of my fun go-to decks.
It is. It goes down a rabbit hole, Snooki.
Like most things.
Yeah, everything goes in a rabbit hole. I can keep going down rabbit holes.
We're
We're already over an hour on this. Sorry, guys.
All right. Well,
As you can tell, we can talk about this stuff.
we have lots to say. Let me think about. We want to go serious or we want to go unserious?
Unserious.
Unserious.
This
Hell
is
yeah.
how
Hell yeah.
This is how
So, there are
Good.
several of these out here. This is the Rebel Oracle deck.
Simon!
Zero filters, zero fucks, all fun.
Jupiter has a bit of complex.
Complex. Oh, it does.
It's a-
It's trying to prove something. Nothing should be
Oh,
wrong.
I just realized your name is Mulder at the X-Files.
Nice.
I didn't even put that two together until now. Sorry.
Where's Scully?
Yeah, where's Scully? Come on, Kevin. Get on it.
She needs to quit doing the autopsy and get up here. So we got things to talk about. So, this deck. I love this deck. I love the reason it was made. It is super
It's
brightly
called the Rebel
colored.
deck, and I
It
love
is double-sided, which I liked. I wasn't expecting it. This is one of the few decks that I've seen where there's a message on both sides. So it doesn't really matter which way you shuffle them, which way you mess them up.
So it's kind of like Cards Against Humanity.
Yes. So,
I wonder if we can just play Cards Against Humanity with those.
oh my God, I would love to. So, for example, some of these messages are not for people that are, because I'm one of those people that I get really practical every now and then. Where I'm like,
No,
Sure.
probably not.
it's nice to think about like, attracting your ancestors and having those deep meaning spiritual connections. Sometimes you just need a kick in the ass to function. This is the Oracle deck that does that, because one of the cards, for example,
Well, it's funny. Okay, so most people say Oracle decks are the soft, squishy,
yes,
like light decks.
Like,
This one's not.
everything's
This
beautiful.
one's like I'll kick.
this
your
is not,
butt.
because this deck tells me you look like a shit show. And the other side says you're a hot mess.
I love
Fact.
it.
Clean yourself
Oh
up.
my god, that's great.
And I love that. I love the fact that there's a deck out there that actually just calls you on your own bullshit. It's literally the friend that looks at you after you've unloaded all the bullshit and goes, "You're talking shit, you know that, right?" This is an awesome deck. It also does, so it does give you some good messages. So for example, like, you are loved, you're here for a reason, but don't fuck it up. It's a deck that walks that line, and it's fun. It's great. And there are several different versions of it out there that I've seen that these lovely people have done. This is my favorite card in the whole deck. You need a big fucking hug.
Oh, I love it.
Squeeze.
Well, Kevin, this you gotta. It sucks that payday's next week, but the sale's over once Sunday goes.
But yeah, this is an awesome deck. It gives very blunt, honest, no bullshit messages.
Okay, so Simon, you know that we just talked about Cards Against Tarot. You can technically read
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against Humanity
You can read
as
Uno
tarot.
cards.
You can literally, yeah. Actually, me and her are going to do that.
need to do
We
that.
are going to do
We
that.
need to get an alt deck together and
We're
start
just gonna
reading,
make that.
like,
Yeah.
Uno cards, Cards Against Humanity. There've been several that I would love to do that with.
I think
Because
we
fuck it.
I think we're just gonna mix cards, man.
Rebel. Do what
Yeah.
you want. So this is one of my favorite decks that I have gotten recently. I have used this deck at the end of readings, especially if we need to like lighten the mood a little bit, or if we've kind of
They're
had a
roughly
more,
the same price. If you were to go get like a game deck and regular tarot, they're about the same. But I'm just saying you can use it's tarot was originally a playing card deck.
yeah. You can. I mean, I think that's how Joan's grandmother got her start. Was that Joan always thought her grandmother was playing like solitaire with herself, and she was actually flipping cards and reading people in the room with a regular deck of cards.
See? Think people are playing solitaire? They're not.
I love this deck though because I have had great success giving this deck at the end of my readings where I need to kind of sum up all of it. Like here's your to-go message. If you forget everything, take this with you, because a lot of times the messages are so succinct. You're giving too many fucks. Give 0. And I love that. I love that it cuts a lot of the mysticism out of it. It cuts a lot of the bullshit out of it. And it can be definitely something that you as a person who just needs a hard message of, you're right, I'm giving too many shits, I need to give 0. And I love that because it adds a level of levity to the oracle. And I like that because a lot of the, like you said, a lot of the oracles are very deep and profound and
very light and fluffy.
And you're meant to like pick a card and meditate on it for days and journal about it. And it's like, or
so Kevin, the sale that I'm talking about, do you follow us on Facebook?
For those of you that don't know,
I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but if you don't look at I try to post every week.
You do a great job
about every sale that we have going on. So this week, that's why we're talking about this. We have sales on tarot and oracle. It is 25% off,
which is a great deal, which is an awesome deal actually. Like,
so that's henceforth why we are on here
talking. May you come browse. You do need to come browse the store. That's the one thing I really appreciate about Melissa's store out of all the other pagan stores I've frequented. Melissa updates her inventory almost every day. There is something new all the time, and it's amazing. And she's got a lot of stuff to look at, and she's got a lot.
We got Instagram, we got website, I'm just saying social media. That's we try to, because if you don't always come to the store, you can see, oh, this is on sale.
This is what's on sale.
And then you shoot us a message and we put stuff on hold for you and so on and so forth. So it's just, that's the other thing.
Well, I think that's good because like that shows like us as a store, like we're here to support you guys as part of the community. And if there's ways we can do that better, easier, if there's products you're like, man, I'm really curious about them, like Melissa's doing, and you're doing an awesome job with the social media pages, by the way, crushing it.
Thanks.
Because that's how I know what sales are going on, is because I'm on Instagram scrolling through and Lori's doing these great shows of like, here's what you're going to spend money on this week. It's like, yep, it is. All right. I'll be down later.
But the same thing going is because social media is free.
Yeah.
So this is a small business. It's not like it's a franchise and she has multiple stores. It's just one store in the greater Cleveland area. She does her best to supply as much as possible, but we also do ship stuff, like, so,
which I think is awesome.
Yeah, and it's worldwide. No, I'm serious about worldwide. Like she shipped to like Australia, Russia, like she ships all over.
We have France. But yeah, so the point is there's probably a tarot deck out there for you. If whatever you are interested in, whatever level of interest or knowledge, or, you know, if you're somebody that just does it for fun, if you're somebody that needs it for like actual mental health growth, there's a deck out there for you. There's a deck there that you could be using, you could be utilizing, and be open to the idea that not all the decks have to be very serious. That if you walk by a Disney villain tarot deck and you're like, well, shit, I can relate to that. Like, all right. Listen to that inner voice, because that's your higher power's way of trying to get your attention. That sometimes in order for you to get comfortable with magic, comfortable with the occult, you kind of have to do it a little funny first. Because once you're able to be like, oh, no, Grandma, this is just a fun Disney villain deck, and isn't it great? And oh, here's the Cruella de Vil card. It's more palatable. It's easier to talk about it. It's easier to bring this shit up in common everyday.
It sounds scary, because some people get scared in the readings. They're like, I've had that numerous times. So people will come in here. I'm scared. I'm like, why? Why are you scared?
I have a friend that gives me decks because she likes the art, but then she gets scared of them. She gets scared of the idea of having a tarot deck, and she goes, "Here, you take it home. I can't have it." And I like the fact that the variety now available makes it accessible that anybody can own a tarot deck
Hi,
or an oracle
Jane.
deck. Anybody can have one, and there's literally so many uses. It's not just flipping cards over for other people. You can please tell me Ursula's the death card.
You know what? I don't know who the death card is.
It's Hades from Hercules.
Yes, which makes so much sense. So much sense.
Oh my god, they have the King Lion from Robin Hood.
Yeah, and then they have Rescuers Down Under too, like from the if you know the Rescuers Down Under.
The High Priestess is Maleficent. The Chariot's Corella Deville. The Chariot is Corella Deville. That's amazing.
Is it with the dogs?
Fuck. Yes. Oh my god, I might own this deck. Damn it.
Yeah.
I curse Melissa more
yeah,
than I have in my entire life.
I do it every day.
Like,
did you see the wine rack out there?
We have a wine rack?
It's a coffin shape, and it says,
"Shit.
Which way is the wine? Which, as in which is the wine?" Like that.
Yeah. So the point is, tarot and oracle cards are meant to be used, flipping them over for journaling, for meditation, just for a daily shit of, oh, this is cool, I'm going to look at this. There are so many uses you could be.
You know what, Jean? I'm not sure. I can let you know and get back to you. The albatross? Are you talking about albatross from Rescuers from Down Under? No. Do you remember? Oh God.
She does have.
Several. You can use that rack for other things besides just wine bottles. It just happens to be for wine, but I would use it for other things. I would probably use it to decorate.
But actually, Melissa's been getting a lot of statues. So Jane here on TikTok asks if there are specifically any Lakshmi statues available. Yeah, Melissa's got a lot of older statues she's just recently got.
Yeah, so I'm not sure because like it's
the chances are high.
Yeah,
but I can't for sure say like. Oh,
so yes, I can let you know like when I get in here tomorrow morning. So because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna go look right now.
Oh, Kevin, as a sober witch, excellent. I've used wine racks before. I'll put them on the wall and I'll use the little cubby holes for all of my little trinkets that I don't have a home for.
Yeah, because literally it looks like you can put crystals and stuff on it. Like it's
what it becomes for me. It becomes little cubby holes to put. Kind of because we're witches. We collect paraphernalia.
Yeah, so
and a lot of times it doesn't have a home
for anything. So it's just kind of cool that it also says which way is the wine, which was kind of funny. I just thought it was fun. Thanks, Jane.
All right, is there any other deck we should talk about before we
wrap this up?
Because honestly, I feel like you and
I want to know what this one is. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
All right. So this deck I got because I liked the snake imagery on it. I'm a little bit of a Medusa fan.
Yeah.
This is the Sacred Hague's Oracle. And as somebody who is really enjoying the idea that we're breaking down the barriers of what is and is not useful as a woman.
So Kevin, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
Kevin, we're actually on a platform that utilizes multiple platforms, but here's the thing. Instagram doesn't want to cooperate. This is actually the one platform that actually integrates a lot of things, and TikTok doesn't integrate with that. So technically, that's why.
This is the Sacred Hague's Oracle deck, and I liked this because as somebody...
Ooh, I like the colors.
They're beautiful.
Is it like the same color scheme repetitive? Kind of? Yeah.
All of them, they're beautiful. And I'll show you guys here in a second. The reason this deck was important to me is as part of a coven, we've got women who are entering menopause, women who are entering that stage of their life where they're croning. They're entering the crone stage, and they feel very suddenly like, oh, I don't have a value as a woman because I'm losing parts of myself. This deck takes that idea and slaps it across the fucking wall and says, you are valuable. You're valuable at every stage of your life, and you're valuable at all these different aspects. So what she does as part of the Sacred Hague's Oracle is she divides the deck up into 4 different distinct parts. So the deck is kind of multifaceted in a way that you can use it as just an oracle deck, or you can actually use it as she's written it for, because there are hags, season, stories, and spells all in this one deck.
Hmm.
And the way she designed it is that you're meant to, when you separate each little card out, because each suit, for example, is color coordinated and has their own little sigil.
That's what I like. That I like that.
That all of the seasons are
so
one
orange
color.
What?
All
so
of the
oranges.
So we're gonna
orange summer. I would hope.
These are okay. So the sacred hags are the ones that will have. No, see, these are stories. So the orange is the stories that some of the witches will tell.
Okay.
The blue are like the spells that you could be casting.
Oh, okay.
The reds are the actual hags, the actual witches available. And then the greens are the seasons.
Oh, okay.
Of what these things could be happening in. So she's designed this deck to really, you could tell a story with it. I love that. I also just love the colors because I'm a sucker for some bold colors. And
I am too.
Breathtaking.
Goodness gracious.
These are
color in our life.
But she tells a story with these, and she wants you to use this deck to create your own actual story of like, here's a story of these types of hags, of these types of witches during this type of season, working these kinds of spells, telling these kinds of stories. And it's meant to kind of pull them all together. So that way you can read each card individually, or you can string them together like the wolf one.
Oh my God.
So some of these get really beautifully detailed, which I also very much enjoyed. Just the level of penmanship and artistry and detail in these is really nice. I'm happy that I bought it. It's definitely a deck that I have to set aside time to work through and think about and meditate on, because the images and the stories in them aren't light. They're not meant to be, simple and easy. They're meant to be thought on, and they're meant to be kind of loved a little bit. The Hague of Cats is great.
So Kevin, if you can come up with a platform that is specifically an app like that can do all those in one thing, sell it, because we use StreamYard. StreamYard is the one that covers all those bases. We already checked. They don't have it. Trust me, we've already looked.
But this deck, this is a really good deck that incorporates the Nectar Forbidden Fruit was one of my favorite cards, because again, I'm a big sucker for pomegranate imagery and Medusa imagery. So anything with snakes and pomegranates in it just floats my boat. But the Sacred Hags Oracle deck is designed to tell that story. It's designed to be an Oracle deck that you're not just meant to like pop a card up and read it and get on with your day. It's designed to really think about these decks. Like when I use this deck, I actually journal. I actually get my journals out. I pull from each different of the 4 decks to tell a story, to tell an idea, and then try to think about how those messages and how those things can be incorporated into my life. Like what messages can, the season of the salted bones.
So I'm not the one in charge of this. If you want to tell Melissa, totally tell her, because she has this with a partner. Like they share this. So when I know of Streamlabs. I've worked with Streamlabs because I have a Twitch. But
Jane, you do need a new deck.
Yeah, she definitely does. I don't know if you know Jane. Have you ever met Jane? She's one of the psychics in the area. She's a local psychic.
Jane, do I know you? Because if I don't see your face, my brain stops working.
Let her know.
If I do know Jane, what's up? If not, lovely to meet you.
You might know her. Maybe. Might, if it's one of those. No, you're fine, Kevin. Trust me. I'm just the person that messes with. I do TikTok, I do Instagram, I do Facebook.
She's the millennial guy put in charge of it.
I'm the one that runs those. I don't do anything else that incorporates I'm let the boss lady know.
You just work here.
I just work here. Yeah. Let the boss lady know.
But the Sacred Hags Oracle deck is a beautiful deck. It is multifaceted. It is definitely not for the faint of heart.
I just love that it has all those stories to tell. What does the book talk about though?
So the entire book, so these 2 women, Danielle Dulski wrote it, and Janine's the one that actually did the art behind it. it talks about incorporating these different ideas of sigil work into your life, into what each hag means. And she speaks about it in a sense of like, you know, what things could this hag tell you as a grandmother would tell you? What kind of rituals would this hag be doing that you could be listening to? When she talks about the seasons, she talks about what kind of work you could be doing in those kinds of seasons. She talks about the kind of stories that you should be telling, the kinds of spells that you could be working.
So basically, this is like for somebody that's starting to get into witchcraft. Like, it'd be like a combination of both. They have the divination, plus they have like it helps them guide them.
It definitely gives you a good starting point if you're somebody that likes a little bit more of that structure. Which is again, when I journal, I like having that as a basic structure to like work through and think about, okay, what kind of images can I pull from this hag, this season, this story, this spell work? And it actually does give you rituals to do and words to do. And I like that because she does kind of incorporate, you know, morning rituals for yourself. She incorporates actual little spells and stuff like that you can use in your own life.
Right.
So it's definitely a good multifaceted deck. It's just not a deck for the faint of heart because it's very deep and heavy and beautifully written.
Okay.
And it addresses a lot of the sacred feminine in all stages of life, not just the idea of this beautiful Venus love goddess, but of the fact that there's nothing wrong with aging as a woman, that you have valued every step of your journey. And she addresses that and she makes that important. And I think that's really important. The feminist in me got really excited about this one. And I love it. This is one of the few decks. I actually don't use this deck with clients. I use this deck just for me. It's just my baby.
And then I kind of almost go into the sense of like Hecate.
Yeah.
Because Hecate is 3.
Yeah.
Right? You either see the crone side, you see the mother side, or you see the...
It's a transition. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a deck that and that's something I wanted to ask you. Do you have decks that you specifically won't use with clients?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I use all my decks.
Okay.
It just depends on like what day, like what's going on.
You almost said what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are my Monday decks. These are my Tuesday decks.
These are my Thursday. No, sorry. No, it really depends too. Sometimes Spirit's like, oh, nope, you need to pull this deck out today. I'm like, oh, okay. And then whoever they send me in, it's like, all right. Apparently, I'm using this deck today. A lot of mine are actually cat decks that I have. They're cat-based.
Nice.
So they have cats in them.
Hell yes.
And a lot of the time, I'm usually looking at what the cat's doing in the deck. And then we discuss it that way.
I mean, that's accessible imagery. Again, have you seen the Hag of Cats?
Freya.
What is
Freya? It's totally
with her goddamn chariot drawn by the cats because there's nothing wrong with being a crazy cat. But yeah, I like that. I like that there's a deck for...
Yes, Elizabeth.
What's up, Liz?
Half your decks have been and my energy on them.
Yeah. So Liz and I go way back. We've known each other for several years, and there are fun decks that do fun crossovers. And that's the other fun thing I think about having other witchy tarot friends is that you start to collect decks and you're like, ooh, I know who needs this deck. And you get the joy and satisfaction of like, oh, I got to see the art, I got to see the decks getting used, but then you get to use it as like, oh, but it's not for me, so it's okay that I bought you another deck.
Mm-hmm. You know, Elizabeth also gave me a deck.
Did she?
Yeah, she gave me an oracle deck.
Yes. I think she gave me a tarot deck that's still sitting on my shelf.
It's just doing its thing. Apparently, you're collecting, and we need to use it.
Listen,